Hello there, welcome back to Jennie Designs with Paper. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I may or may not have gone to Michael's. So get comfy and let's get crafty and see what I did. So I did go to Michael's. I had some reward dollars to use and I went to their Valentine's Day section and I may have gone crazy. This is not everything I bought. I actually went in to see what clearance stuff they still had, so I have two packages of these kind of heavyweight elements, ephemera, whatever you want to call it. There was a package of stickers that has a whole bunch of different things, including alphas and stamps and tags and sentiment strips. And it's beautiful in reds and pinks and whites and blacks with gold foiling. I picked up two packages of this floss because, you know, Maker's Twine is awesome. And I actually picked up two of the 6x6 paper pads. So this paper pad is more of the conversation heart style, and they are double-sided. So there's a pattern on each side. And this paper pad that I picked up is single-sided, but it has lots of things like foil, and there's even some pages that are transparency, like acetate, printed on acetate, that I will be using. So I decided to go ahead and pull out some paper combinations and make 4 cards from each paper pad. And I will use both the sticker pad, the twine, and the ephemera packages. And I'm going to make 8 cards in 2 paper pads today. I will do a lot of the prep work, like the paper cutting and stuff, off screen. I will open up all of the ephemera packages, and then we're going to just jump right into it. So the first thing I did was select 2 pieces of paper for each card. So these are the 4 card combinations I'm going to be using from that pad that had the foiling in it. And these are the pattern paper combinations I will be using from the Conversation Heart paper pad. I do need to create card bases. So I have some 110-pound cardstock that I will be cutting down to 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, which means that all 8 cards will be US A2 size cards. So their finished size is 5 1/4 by 5.5 by 4 1/4. There we go. Okay, card number 1. I have this little pink heart pattern paper. I have a piece of the foil and a strip of the XO paper, and I'm just going through the ephemera here, super fast motion to pick one to put on the front of my card. This is the first package. It's more like the Conversation Heart. The second package has a lot of gold. Actually, that was the first package. That was the gold foil package. This is the one that is more the sketch package. Lots of black lines and hearts and doodling kind of conversation hearts kind of thing. So I need to find one of these ephemera pieces to use on the front of this card. And I think the one that I want to use is that one that says XOXO because I have a piece of XOXO paper here. So that's what I'm going to do. I just need to assemble this card now. I am going to be using both three-dimensional foam tape and double-sided adhesive and putting things together, you know, however I feel like it in the mood, in the moment. First thing I'm going to do is adhere this little square of, this is a silver foil paper from that paper pad. Actually, nope, this is the gold one. Sorry, it's hard to tell until the light hits it just right. And it's all stuck to my finger and stuff. I put a little square down on the front of my card base, which all of my card bases are 4 by 5 1/4. So there's a little bit of a border. I contemplated adding twine to this, but decided that the strip of pattern paper was better suited for the plan I had in mind. So I just put some adhesive on the back of that, laid it down, and I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and trim off the sides super quick. I could have pulled my trimmer back out, but what you can't see on my desk right now is the piles and piles of ephemera and stuff that I will be using, so that would have just been silliness. I am adding foam tape to the back of this. It looks like the ephemera has a score line on the back, so theoretically you could score that in half so it was double-sided, but there was no score line on the front. That's kind of what I was looking at there. And do I want to cover up the foil or put it off to the right? And no surprise there, I did not cover up the pretty gold foil. All that's left now is to grab card base and my scoreboard and score this in half and put my card together. When you are using a heavyweight paper, especially when you're using heavyweight paper that you are folding against the fibers, scoring is a really fabulous idea because then it allows you to get that nice, crisp, clean fold, and that is card number 1. Card number 2, I'm going to use that striped printed acetate, and I have a piece of the gold foil paper behind it, and then this pink stripe of paper that I contemplated using, and I'm going to go through the ephemera pieces right here super fast and see which one I want to use. I love that truck. It's definitely going to have to be on a card sometime this Valentine's Day season. Wowzers. I am going to continue to pick up each one of those pieces of ephemera and decide which one I want to use on the card. Do I want to stack some of them up? Kind of like the hearts and the flowers there. Ultimately, I think I decided I like this Happy Valentine's Day banner the best, and that's what I went with. So I'm going to adhere this to the top of the acetate, and I'm going to adhere that flat down with double-sided adhesive. So I have my acetate and my gold foil paper stacked together so I can see through it better, like to get a better center. And then I'm going to actually pop up the acetate with some foam tape so that it pops up off of that gold foil paper just a little bit. And that gives it kind of some dimension. It makes the gold, I just thought it was a cool idea. That's about the easiest way to get the acetate to adhere down as well, because all of your adhesives are going to be visible through that adhesive, or that acetate rather. And now it's just time to put this card down on a card base. So again, folding that in half with the scoreboard, and then I turn my card base sideways. So the top is off to the left, and that way I have 3 sides I can see all at the same time to eyeball that in the center. Next card, I decided I wanted to pull out a punch. This is a scallop punch I got from Stampin' Up! 100,000 years ago, back when Methuselah was still on the earth kind of thing. And I am just adding the scallop edge to this piece of, this is a kind of a hot pink foil paper. It's kind of hard to tell what color it is in my craft room today. We are having a ton of rain, so I have no natural light coming into my craft room. And so you're getting just artificial lights, the lights I have on every time I film, but it's just not doing justice to these colors today. I'm using my grid mat to line this up, and then I realized I didn't line it up straight. I should have used the pattern paper. So it may have been straight on my grid mat, but it was not straight on the pattern paper, and I will fix that in a minute. I am going to add some of the baker's twine. I'm going to use this kind of fuchsia pink color. And actually what I have done is taken my double-sided adhesive and put a couple of little sticky pieces of tape on the back of the card panel so that the twine will stick while I kind of adjust it and figure out where I want it. And then I'm going to pull out my Scotch tape and go over the ends just so they stay stuck down. I can still fidget with it just a little bit, and I've got kind of a 3 twine wrap there that kind of crosses across the center, or crisscrosses across the center. And I'm going to put this Happy Valentine's Day or the I Love You, again, kind of went back and forth with which one I wanted. I did decide to go with the I Love You because it did not cover up all of that foil paper and the twine. I put foam tape on the top and bottom so that it would lay flat across that twine. And now we're ready to put together the card. This is so easy when you have a pattern paper pack, whether it's a 12 by 12 or an 8 by 8 or a 6 by 6, it is really easy to create a whole bunch of cards in a short amount of time just by using what's there. The only thing on this project that I used that didn't come from either the paper pads or the ephemera packs that I bought is the foam tape and that punch. And that punch that I used on this card could easily have been not used, right? All right, so there's our third card. Time for card number 4. I'm going to tidy my desk here just a minute before I go crazy. And this is kind of a simple card. In the end, wasn't too sure if I loved it or not. My plan was to take that piece of the striped paper that I pulled off, or that I trimmed off of the card panel, and add it across the foil. I didn't like that as much. Yeah. I don't know. I saw the paper, I saw the foil, I said, let's use these. I didn't really have a plan in place. So I did just cut a smaller rectangle piece of foil paper. I think it would have looked better if it wasn't the same width as the card, to be honest, but that's okay. And then I pulled off some of this baker's twine again, doing the same trick with the double-sided adhesive on the back of the card panel, wrapping it around three times, and trimming off the long piece, adding Scotch tape, and then I'm going to put this Happy Valentine's Day ephemera piece on the front of it. I'm using foam tape again, just because it's kind of hard to put things down flat on top of baker's twine. And this is a thicker baker's twine than some of the others on the market. It's thicker, more like the Lawn Fawn thickness, you know. So anyways, putting my card together. This is the one I almost put together upside down, I think. I am taking my double-sided adhesive and rolling it over those pieces of twine. And that is because it's not going to lay perfectly flat. I want to give the back of that card panel all of the possible places to adhere. So that was card number 4. Now we're on to card number 5, and this is the second pattern paper pack. This is the Conversation Hearts. I have this blue piece of paper, and I'm taking a piece of the pink that I cut off from one of the other card bases and adhering it across the top third of the card and trimming off the edges. This is just double-sided adhesive, so it's nice and flat. And I have another rectangle. I think this is about 2.5 by 3.5 inches. I just kind of guesstimated, measured. Yeah. And I'm going to put that right here on the front of the card. Now, I wanted to put the focal image in that box. That white pattern paper has a whole bunch of arrows, like pink and blue and yellow arrows. So I'm looking for a piece of ephemera that kind of goes with those arrows, and most of them were actually just too big. So I went into the sticker book, and I'm kind of flipping through the pages. The stamps are cool, but not really. And I found on one page some balloons. So I decided to use the sticker of the balloons. It's on the front page right there. It works. It totally works. And then I went into the sticker pad to this red paper, or the red page of foiled sentiments, and pulled out one of the sentiment strips to put on. And my plan is to put it across the strings of the balloon. However, I already have that pink paper down, and it looked weird to have a space between the red label and the pink paper. So I did very gently lift up that balloon sticker. I slid it slightly farther up the top of that panel. And then I added the sentiment strip right there on top of the white panel underneath the pink strip. There's a lot of empty space at the bottom. Not sure how I feel about that, but we're just going to move on. We're going to go ahead and put the card base, or fold the card base and put the card together. Just using double-sided adhesive to adhere that panel down to the top of my card base. And that is card number 6. So now we're going to move, or card number 5, sorry. Now we're going to move into card number 6. And I have 3 pieces of paper here. That pink paper is card panel size. And the first thing I want to do is cut a fishtail banner out of this little strip of paper. And the easiest way to do that is to fold it in half and slightly crease it, and then cut from the corner up to the top of your center cut piece or cut line. And then you have a symmetrical, or mostly symmetrical, fishtail banner. I'm toyed with putting this square not exactly kind of off center, but I decided to go ahead and leave it where it was and just have that fishtail banner hang off 3 sides of that panel. So the next thing I need to do is go through my pile of ephemera that is getting scattered farther and farther across my desk. I do like these roses with the heart or the arrow going through them. I feel like it follows the trajectory of that pattern paper. I did go through my sticker pouch again, or sticker packet again, and decided instead to use some of these, well, they look like stamps and postcards. So first thing I did was pick out this pink postcard. It is the same color as the background to the card. The back panel to the card. And I felt like it needed just a little something else, but then I didn't want to, so I picked out one of the stamps. It looks like a postage stamp with a gold foil trim, but I didn't want to cover, oh my goodness, words are hard, cover up the gold foil. So I just kind of slid that postcard behind the stamp. There is a little envelope sticker here. I thought about putting on top to complete my collage piece, but then I decided to go down to the next page and use this kind of flower sticker. Kind of flower. It is a flower sticker. And then all that's left to do is assemble this card. I'm going to fold the card base in half and just use double-sided adhesive to adhere this panel to the card front as well. And then this is card number, I think 6. I think we're on 6 now. Okay. And now we're going to move on to card number 7. Pushing all those things out of the way. They're getting more and more into my camera space here. I have a piece of pink paper that is cut down to be my card front and 2 small rectangles of pattern paper. I want to use this baker's twine to kind of add some detail behind those little rectangles. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the sides of the pattern paper. I'm going to wrap the twine around it. This time I am not going for a crisscross. I'm just stacking them one on top of each other and putting the Scotch tape down over the ends to keep them in place. And now I can position these pattern paper rectangles how I want them. I decided to go ahead and adhere them together to make them one piece, and then put foam tape on the 2 pieces as a whole. And that way I can lift them up, and they're already kind of angled at the angle I like, so I just have to worry about putting them down on top of the card front. And now I need to figure out what's going on top of these little pieces of pattern paper. A lot of the elements are a little bit too big, but this heart with the arrow through it was just the right size. And it's kind of perfect because I have that conversation heart pattern paper plus the pattern paper that has the hearts with the arrows. So it kind of goes perfectly. And just like that, card number 7 is finished as well, other than the assembly. Now, I will tell you that very often I get myself worked up into such a state that every once in a while I attempt to put a card on backwards. And that's exactly what I did. I got myself moving at such a high rate of speed there that I did not. Gratefully, I noticed it before. But all right, that was card number 7. We are moving on to card number 8. We have a yellow piece of paper for the background of our card and a piece of conversation heart pattern paper that is about 2/3 the size of the front. I am going to kind of cover up or disguise that transition with some of the baker's twine. This time I cut it before I wound it around, and I didn't cut it quite long enough to go 3 times. So no big deal. I'll just wrap it around 2 times, cut the excess off, and tape the ends down again. Normally I don't cut the twine off until I know exactly how much I need, but for whatever reason, I jumped the gun on this one. I wanted a larger focal image for this card. And so I looked at some of these larger hearts, but this one I really liked because it looks like a candy box. And I have seen big heart boxes of these conversation hearts. So I am going to add foam tape to the back of it so that I can angle it over that twine without it popping up. And then I need to put my card base together, and card number 8 is complete as well. So the one thing I decided to do once I had all of the cards put together was to go back through this sticker pouch, or I keep calling it a pouch, the sticker pad, and find sentiments to put on the cards. Like, I felt like they needed a little something else. This one was a little bit more difficult because I didn't feel like any of the stickers in that sticker pad really coordinated with it very well, but I just chose that little love sticker. I did add this XOXO to the top of that heart. I thought that was cute. I did decide to use one of the red labels to the postcards. This one already has a sentiment on it. I contemplated putting a sticker at the bottom, but then decided not to. A couple of the others already had sentiments on them. So this card, the one that we made first, I'm actually going to pick one of the short sentiments to go right up near that XOXO piece And here are the cards, all 8 Valentine Day cards created with 2 pattern paper packs, 2 packages of ephemera, and a package of stickers and baker's twine that I acquired from Michael's. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I have a couple of other videos here I think you might like, as well as a subscribe button. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. Leave me a comment down below, give me a thumbs up, and have a really great day.